Welcome back to The Grind for another Act 7.3 guide. This is quest number 2, the node with power struggle and buff synthesis. So when you have a fury and then trigger a precision, you will get a prowess buff that will last you for the remainder of the fight. When you use a block, or a well-timed block will give you a fury buff, and then if you dex, you'll trigger a precision, and that will get you a nice prowess that will stack for the rest of the fight. So you can build up quite a large number of these prowess if you try to. You will likely trigger several of them just from playing normally throughout the fight, but if you want to stack up a few right near the beginning so that you have stronger special attacks for the fight, then you can definitely do that. Now, the most annoying part about this path is Deja Vu Unblockable. So if you use the same basic attack twice in a row, the opponent is going to get an unblockable buff, and that's going to be very annoying because you'll finish a combo and then you won't be able to parry again and you'll have to wait it out. However, Tigra is a great option for this because when you put on neutralized, the opponent cannot gain any buffs at all. So pretty much the entire fight, we don't see that Deja Vu Unblockable trigger at all, except for once later on where there's a slight delay, neutralized ends, and then we use the same basic attack and it triggers it. So we'll see that it actually happens. But you can see this fight is very straightforward with Tigra, and you don't even have to do lots of heavy intercepting with Tigra for this to work. You can just play normally, do your basic combos, and with neutralized active, you will not trigger the unblockable. If you want to play around this with any champion, really, you can parry light, medium, and then go into your next combo again with a light, medium. There you see that unblockable, but it really doesn't matter because Tigra's playstyle pretty much means you don't have to block at all. And this is a pretty decent champion to go up against with Tigra because the heavy attacks and basic attacks are special attacks are pretty simple to counter. And I was just using special ones, so not as much damage from those, but otherwise, if we didn't use it and then the next time Shang-Chi throws a special because of power struggle, we would lose that power. Now, Dr. Doom's a great option for this path as well because you can just always apply a stagger, and then when you do your next combo, the unblockable buff that triggers will be removed by the stagger, and then you're ending that combo with another stagger on your heavy attack, so you never really have to worry about it. Unfortunately, I ran into an issue in this fight, and it was kind of interesting because this is not a paradox node, but I did get clipped by the special 2, and that applied Siphon Burn to me. So when he drains power, he deals damage, and when I gained power from Power Struggle, somehow it interacted with that power drain damage ability, and I took a ton of damage because of it. So now we're bringing in Sasquatch, who has access to stagger on his heavy attack, and I'm mainly using Sasquatch because I wanted to give him a try since I recently took him to rank 2, and Sasquatch isn't bad for this node in general because you can just easily throw your heavy attack off to get the stagger and then go back in, but Power Struggle makes it annoying because you really want to use your special 2 for the damage from Sasquatch, and because of Power Struggle, you kind of have to use your special 1 or hold block and let him attack into you and then build up to your special 2, which we do a couple times here. Unfortunately, because of the added difficulty in doing that, this time I actually unfortunately had all my ruptures run out, and you want to throw off your special 2 with ruptures active so that you can get the nice damage bonus. So we're actually going to go into this here. Unfortunately, the enrage or whatever it's called ends, but we have a bunch of these ruptures built up. I accidentally threw off the special attack just a little too early because the power doesn't land on the hit that you put it up, that you push him over a bar of power. It's a slight delay, so you have to try to delay that special attack activation a bit, but here we go with that special 2, and it does a whack ton of damage, so that was a lot of fun with Sasquatch. Now we're going in with Falcon, which is a great option to counter any of the evade champions on a lane, but also counters this Deja Vu node. So once we lock on, we're not going to see any of the Deja Vu unblockable trigger, and we're not going to have to worry about Spider-Man evading. We're also going to get those nice precision buffs every time we strike into him because it is effectively shutting down an evade. And the special ones are not the most ideal in general for damage with Falcon. I like to use a special 2, but the bleeds do pretty nice damage, especially when you're building up prowesses. And because of Power Struggle, I was just trying to throw off the special ones as much as possible. There, I was trying to finesse a little and dex the special 1, but I'm a bit rusty on the full dex of Spider-Man special 1, so I ended up taking a hit. And I actually tried it again later on and get hit again, but not a big deal because we still have all the fights locked down on this lane. I wasn't too worried about this path, but there are several paths that I have struggled with in Act 7.3, but a quick redo or a revive or two here and there is not something that I'm too upset about. So that fight was pretty straightforward with Falcon. Now we're going into this with Diablo to try out another option. Diablo has access to Nullify with his pre-fight ability, and so when you throw off a special attack and have your Philosopher's Mix active, every couple seconds you're going to be nullifying a buff on the opponent. And so if you throw it off, then you won't have to worry about Deja Vu, Unblockable, because every time it triggers, you will just nullify it. But unfortunately, Philosopher's Mix, there you saw it come up and then be nullified right away. Unfortunately, Philosopher's Mix isn't active all the time, but you can keep it active pretty often, and so a majority of the time you don't have to worry about it. But the nice thing about Diablo is you can do fairly well stacking poisons with a parry medium heavy style, so doing that, you won't have to worry about Deja Vu and Blockable anyways. So that is how I played a portion of the fight, and when I did have Philosopher's Mix active, I just didn't worry about it at all, or if I knew I was going to go in. But sometimes I did trigger it accidentally, so you saw I just threw off the special one into the block so I could get rid of that Deja Vu Unblockable and not have to worry about it. And we're skipping ahead a little bit more again. We actually have stacked up a ton of precision, well, prowess, and we're going to see a nice special one coming up here. Unfortunately, he's really close to dying, but we're going to do a quick evade of this hit, throw off a special one, and that first hit did almost 22,000 damage. Now we're going in with Falcon for the Hitmonkey fight. Hitmonkey can be a pretty annoying opponent because when you knock him down, he'll get that tenacity charge and the evade charge, but Falcon does really well at shutting that stuff down. You won't have to worry about the evade, and if you're using just special ones, the tenacity will be removed on the special one anyway. So you don't really have too much to worry about if you're using Falcon for this fight, as long as you're locked on. While you're not locked on, you can just kind of wait it out, or you can just parry light, medium, light, medium. As I said, any champion can do that and ignore the Deja Vu node. So you can just do that with your strongest champions if you don't have any ideal counters, and that'll do just fine. And remember, you can stack up extra prowess if you want. Throw that off for some nice big damage, and the bleeds are doing some pretty good damage because of those prowesses. The more you stack up, obviously the better it will get. But we're not going to watch this whole fight. It was a bit slow because I was being very cautious since I didn't have that much health to work with. Now the last fight on this path is the champion, and again we're going in with Dr. Doom. I did end up throwing a revive and a health potion into Dr. Doom for this fight because I wanted to actually showcase him on this path, and we didn't really get to do that in that fight against Vulture. So basically, if you don't have a stagger up and you trigger Deja Vu, you can just throw your special one to nullify it, and then when you do your combo and end with a heavy attack, then you'll have that stagger. You can just go into another combo or throw off heavy attack again to stack up more staggers. Unfortunately, that did trigger an unblockable buff, but we just kind of waited that out, throw off a special attack, and we're building up prowesses as well in the process. So there we get a Fury every time you parry, and then you dex with a Fury active, you turn it into a prowess. So here we go again, throwing off our heavy attack to get the stagger. Now we're unfortunately messed up and we took a hit from the special one, but that's okay. We're still going to be able to get through it. So now we triggered the Deja Vu, and we're going to end with another heavy attack to apply another stagger, but unfortunately he goes unstoppable right before we land that heavy attack. So we got smacked again, but we're able to survive still, and then we just go ahead and nullify the remainder of those buffs, and we have a stagger active, but it's running out, so we're going to go in with a short combo to get a stagger active, and it was removed by an unstoppable buff. So this fight with Dr. Doom, you want to be using heavy attacks pretty frequently so that you can nullify all the buffs, and if they get through, you can still use that special one. And we're going to come up with another unfortunate timing here. I go to throw a heavy attack, and at the same time it triggers another unstoppable. If I was quick enough reacting, I could have thrown the special one to get rid of them, but unfortunately I did not. And then unfortunately, after not too long, we ended up dying, so I did have to use another revive to finish off the fight, but not too bad. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below, and I hope to see you in the next video.